suivre ensemble les gens le reveal de Age of Fate. Donc la prochaine extension de Destiny, comment ça Destiny, c'est pas fini. Et non, la forme finale était un très mauvais choix de nom, c'était la fin d'un arc. La forme finale, on le rappelle. Je dois souvent le redire aux gens qui suivent pas forcément à fond Destiny, ils me disent ah bon c'est pas fini quand ils me voient y jouer. On a eu une très bonne saison de l'hérésie, après 2 saisons qui étaient vraiment pas ouf. La saison de l'hérésie trop bien. On a d'ailleurs une nouvelle activité qui arrive là pour les donjons. Et surtout le reveal de l'extension. Avec la semaine dernière on a eu l'ARG avec le jeu d'échecs qui nous menait à une cinématique qui donnait l'impression qu'on allait partir pour quelque chose d'extrasolaire. Donc hors dehors du système solaire, hein. C'était là qu'était parti le vagabond, mais il a été retenu par un truc, il a dit il y a quelque chose là dehors qui nous guette quoi, en gros. Donc bien hâte de voir ça, moi toujours hype, vous le savez. Hein. Vous aurez en grand bien sûr sur la chaîne de Bungie la présentation. Là nous on est comme ça, mais n'hésitez pas à aller voir la version originale si vous voulez la version en gros format, bien entendu. Et on est en live du coup, Yop Seraph, Yop Tendoya. Je vais faire des donjons. Arrivé, j'imagine direct une cinématique, ouais, voilà. Forcément.
What follows light and shadow is silence. That silence breaks. I am summoning you as a new age begins. I see sapient life turn to each other. They remember how to look to the stars. They remember curiosity.
Oui, Kifi.
They remember how to thrive. But they have forgotten.
Là, c'était quand il avançait.
We were here long before the traveler. They forgot that they need us. But they are fated to remember. I will remind them.
Ça fait un peu peur, hein.
I'm sure you will. But not through me. Find someone else.
What? Mon Dieu!
My will is my own.
Joli, c'est joli. Ils ont dit qu'ils étaient là avant, bien avant le Traveler, que les humains se rappelaient pas.
Hello and welcome
les humains,
here to Bungie HQ in beautiful Bellevue, Washington. We have got an amazing stream
Mais qu'ils allaient se
lined up
charger
here
de
to
leur
tell you
rappeler.
a little bit about the Edge of Fate and the future of Destiny 2 as well. My name's Andy. I work on the social media team here, but no need to worry. As always, I am joined by some of my amazing colleagues here at Bungie to share some of the finer details of the stuff that we're going to be getting into today. So, how about we go ahead and get into it so we can show you what we got. Starting first with this gentleman on my right and to your left is someone that you've probably seen if you've tuned into our streams before or Vidocs, the one and only Mr. Robbie Stevens, Assistant Game Director here at Bungie. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Andy. It's always a pleasure to spend a day with you.
Yeah, it's been a nice time, honestly, hasn't it?
Yeah,
well,
always.
To that end as well, for anyone that doesn't get to hang
c'est le
out as
truc
much
du
as we do,
collector,
can
là,
you
au
tell
milieu.
everyone at home a little bit about yourself and
Il
what
est
you do
stylé
here?
un peu, hein.
Yeah, sure. So I'm one of the creative and game directors for the game. So that means like I'm a vision holder and I work across the entire Destiny team with people like Allison and Dylan on the couch here to chart a new course for Destiny and
ça
a new
beaucoup plus
future
beau que le
for the
truc du
game. And
précédent
just
collector.
incredibly excited to be sharing with everyone today of what we've been up to.
Yeah, can't wait. We've got a big show ahead, so thank you for being here.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, as we move,
Genre,
pardon me, right
là,
on
ça
down the
rend
line,
bien,
someone
quoi.
who again has also had the good
Elias.
opportunity to join us on these streams as well, and is now firing some finger guns like a pro. Destiny's narrative director, the one and only Allison Lors. Allison,
Hello.
how's it going?
It's going so good. I'm here on a couch and I get to yell about Destiny with you. So
Not
it's a
bad
good day.
Yeah, honestly, I'll take that anytime I can. Well,
Same.
for anyone who also hasn't had a chance to yell on couches about Destiny with us or hasn't joined us in the past, do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So my
Là,
name is
c'est beau, mais
Allison.
oui.
I'm the narrative director for Destiny 2.
Alors,
And
si
so that
sympa.
means it's the job
Si
of me and my
américaine.
team to make you laugh and make you cry and make you go, whoa, I totally forgot about this thing from 8 years ago. How did they remember? It's because we're good at our jobs.
It's true.
So there you
Yeah.
go.
As someone who gets to sit in on the writers' rooms, I can now doubly confirm that. So thank
we
you for
love
being
having you
here.
there.
So
Elle est
much
bien,
fun.
elle.
No, seriously, thank you so much. And of course, as we move right on down the line, the gentleman
Oui,
there at
il y a
the
une
very end of the
cinématique,
couch,
Elias.
someone who is a friend to all
Faut croire.
Guardian kind, who's known far and wide, a member of the Destiny
J'ai envie
Global
de prendre un
Comms team.
multi avec elle dans un
here
bar
at
à chat,
Bungie,
exactement.
Mr. Dylan Gaffner. How's it going, Dylan?
Totalement.
It's going well. How are you, Andy?
I'm doing so well. Thank you so much for
Got to make sure to ask every time.
I appreciate it. I need all the help I can get. Well, to anyone out there who may not have accosted you on the wild world of social media or is just somehow meeting you for the first time, do you mind telling us about what you do here at Bungie?
My name is Dylan Gaffner, formerly community team, where we would go out, collect your feedback, translate it to the dev team, and then bring their information back to you, kind of be that middleman. Now I'm on Global Comms, so I'm going to be in more of like a puzzle piece organization stage of what do we talk about, when do we talk about it, why do we talk about it, and then just making sure we get the information out to all players.
Yeah, well, we all appreciate it. Thank you for always being the voice of the player inside our hallowed halls. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, well, now that we've kind of got the intros out of the way, let's talk about our new saga.
beaucoup.
Robbie, I'd love to start with you. What's up next in
Il en
Destiny,
prend
and where
plein
are
la
we
tronche avec la
Yeah,
commis
so
en
our
général.
first expansion this year, The Edge of Fate, is the start of a brand new multi-year saga called
Des
the
millions
Fate
l'aiment,
Saga.
mais oui.
And so we want to tell a story about something older,
The Fate
about the
Saga.
nature of fate itself. Are we bound by it?
La saga
Can we
du
fight it?
destin.
Because before the Traveler ever arrived in our solar system, there was already space magic here, Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so ultimately, this is a story that we're going to explore one of Destiny's biggest mysteries and the foundations of the universe itself.
Ah, il
You're
pend, il
talking about
pend.
the 9, aren't you?
Who
Yeah.
told you?
I think
En
it's
lien avec
subtle,
ce qui
I
était
know.
avant
Yeah,
Voyageur.
Cut you off.
We did such a good job with this
Really
secret.
buried that lead, didn't we? Yeah.
just a little bit.
That's, but I mean, to that end, so who and maybe more appropriately, what are the 9?
Yeah, so buckle up. In the simplest description possible, the 9 are extraordinarily powerful beings that have been in the solar system for way, 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 way longer than the
C'est les 9.
Traveler.
Hein.
We can think of them as being kind
En
of
français.
connected to each of the major celestial bodies in Sol. So that's each of our 8 planets plus the sun. Sorry, Pluto.
It's messed up.
Didn't make the cut.
All right, fair.
I don't make the rules. Yeah, there you go. But the important thing to know about them is that
Donc,
this is
par
why we're
planète.
going to be so focused on the solar system for the next saga. We want to ask questions about our home that we've never asked before.
Yeah. So when it comes to the 9, obviously, Eagle-Eyed Guardians have been able to spot references to them for quite some time, whether it
Mais j'aime
be
bien,
outright
limite.
ominous or
Murmure
a
juste
straight-up
derrière.
game show in
Après,
some
j'ai lu,
cases. Can you tell us a little bit maybe about what we should expect from them?
Expect to be surprised. We're, like you said, the lore of the 9 really ranges from like Star Horse infinitely neighing to the 9 doing genuinely awful, awful things in our lore. And
Ça,
so
c'est
the
bien.
important thing to know
veut
about
des
them
trucs
is that the
dark.
9 are individuals. This isn't a collective. It's not like a hive mind. Each of them are kind of their own being, their own person in the loose
ils ont tous leur
definition of a person.
personnalité.
They have different wants and
C'est pas
desires.
genre,
They can ally
un
with
groupe.
different members and fight
Chacun
with
des
different
9
members too.
a son truc.
In the words of one of our characters really
envies,
early on, there are
le pouvoir,
aliens, and then there's aliens, and then there are aliens, and that latter one is what the
Je l'aime
9 are
trop,
qualified
elle.
as.
Fair enough. All right, so beings of obviously immense power, something that the Guardians have gone toe-to-toe with in the past. We've even faced off against the very embodiment of the darkness itself.
Yeah.
What could be tougher than that?
Yeah, so this is something that we think about a lot about because ultimately the 9 seek to free themselves
Yeah.
at no matter the cost to humanity. And because they're
ils veulent
extra
se libérer.
dimensional in the ways that Allison are describing, they're not bound by the same rules that we are, that we've really experienced before in the game today. And so humanity and the Guardians, to many of them, are ultimately just bugs that can be squashed on, that they don't really care or think about beyond
Ils s'en foutent des humains.
achieving their ultimate goals.
Considère comme un
So-
bug.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Ils
for the
vont
last
se servir de
10
nous pour
years,
arriver à leur
Guardians
but.
have really just been making their own fate.
Yeah.
I mean, so the 9 is challenging that. How are we going to deal with it?
Yeah, whether we like it or not, the 9 have a plan for us. And like you said, Guardians
ont
are
pas
really
un
good at
objectif
making
pour
their
nous.
own fate and going out and deciding who they want to be. But what happens when them deciding to make our own fate is exactly what our fate is? Like, what if that was the plan all along? These are
Ouais.
extra
On a
dimensional
décidé notre
beings. That
destin.
means they perceive our reality in a very
Mais
different way.
peut-être que
and
décider
can
notre
interact
destin,
with it in a
c'était ce que
very
les
different
9
way.
voulaient qu'on
It's like
fasse.
they're a move ahead in chess.
Weird.
What a reference. But you were mentioning, obviously, the Fate Saga is one of the subjects of today. How long can we expect the Fate Saga to last?
Yeah, so the Fate Saga is going to play out over several years, and ultimately,
Plusieurs années,
we know
du
where
coup.
we're driving this car. We know where we're going
Pour ce
with
nouvel
it.
arc.
But the conclusion of the Edge of Fate itself is going to leave you with more questions than answers, and it's going to be the catalyst into this new multi-year saga. Because we really want to return Destiny to being a game about big questions, right? And so the way we think about this is about
J'aime bien ce
pouring
qu'il dit.
jet fuel into the speculation engine of the game. So we're going to be revealing a lot of ideas, a lot of concepts, and many of them we're not going to be answering
En fait, ils vont donner plein de
immediately
pistes,
because
ils
we're
vont
going to
pas
be telling the
forcément tout
story over
répondre.
multiple
Ils
expansions,
veulent
and we're going to be
revenir à
giving you
ce
those
qu'on avait sur
expansion beats
Destiny à l'origine.
more times than we have before in the past. And so the Year of Prophecy
Plutôt que faire
kicks
des
off with the
paragraphes sur le
Fate Saga,
voile.
and with it,
On a
humanity
toujours pas
is
compris
now
ce que
set
c'était
on a
dans
collision
Destiny.
course with this
Je rigole.
celestial pantheon of the system that has been here for a very, very long time. And so the Edge of Fate launches on July 15th,
Nous laisser
and then
plus
the second expansion of
élaborer
our
en
Year
fait.
of
Nous laisser plus
Prophecy
le
is
temps de
Renegades,
se
which
dire ah c'est
comes
peut-être
this
ça
winter,
et en
and
fait
then
ça.
later in 2026 we've got
C'est
Shattered
paracausal.
Cycle and The Alchemist. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of exciting beats.
Et eux,
And
ils
so
savent où
again,
ils
the
vont,
Edge
c'est
of
ça,
Fate is just the
exactement.
beginning of this
Il a dit
long
ça.
journey of this awesome
très
vehicle
bien
we're
vers où
all
ils
jumping
vont.
into and
C'est pas,
driving
ils sont
together, and
freestyle,
it's going
quoi.
to take us to some new places.
C'est pas Destiny 1.
So with regards to the Edge of
C'était
Fate right here in
freestyle.
front of us, you were also nice enough to bring the class something today. You've got
Je
some
veux les
gameplay with
posters.
you,
Oh
right?
yeah, we got some clips.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we should show those off.
It's a
Let's
doozy.
Let's check it out.
The
Un peu
present. Let's check it out.
paracausal, ouais. Ah, ça me hype, hein, franchement, de toute façon, des nouveaux... En plus, ça, les... C'est bizarre.
Connect, conceal. Guardian,
Un nouvel arc, c'est bien, c'est bien.
conform, comply, return. They just wanted to show us disaster.
Surtout s'il y a des nouveaux mystères,
Observe, connect.
c'est ce qui nous...
I'm not.
C'est ce qui nous pousse un peu. Normalement, il y a de nouveaux personnages, vous avez vu, il y en avait un gars avec les lunettes.
Conform, comply. No one else should know what this feels like.
Le mystère et la satisfaction de la découverte. Les secrets, les actifs commissaires, tout à fait, oui. Et puis même, avoir un petit temps où on nous dit pas tout, c'est bien aussi.
Enough. Terminate your suspicion, Commander. Remove your scornful blindfold.
Juste laisser en termes de rythme un peu de temps.
Observe, connect.
Si on a vraiment beaucoup de mystères, ce sera cool. Et pas des trucs à base de paracausal, machin truc. Hein. Il a l'air stylé ce perso. Ça doit être l'antagoniste.
All right, that
Whoa.
gives us an awful lot to go ahead and continue to dive into. And here to help us go ahead and explore a little bit more of it, everyone, you probably noticed we've been joined by someone new here on the couch. We are privileged to be joined by someone who's the originator of perhaps my favorite all-time Destiny emote, the one and only Dave Samuel, art director here at Bungie. Dave, how's it going, man?
It's going great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. For anyone who maybe for some
Il avait
reason
plusieurs
somehow
têtes comme
doesn't
le
have that
témoin, ouais.
emote in their collection or hasn't seen you at a past Vidoc, do you mind telling us a little bit about what you do here at Bungie?
Yeah, I'm art director on Edge of Fate. I work with the art team to visualize the narrative and design and kind of bring it all together.
It's a lot to bring together. Thank you very much for being here today. Yeah. So with the Edge of Fate, it's obviously the first expansion in the Fate Saga. Allison, I'd love to start with you, actually. What can you tell us about the Edge of Fate?
Un nouvel arc.
Begins with an invitation, and we are invited along with a very specific group of people to
Ça a l'air
a
assez nouveau,
location,
c'est cool.
to a moment in time for a very specific reason.
Very specific purpose.
Very specific reason and purpose, yes. And the place that we're going to is called Kepler. And so you may be saying, now Allison, hold on, hold your horses
read my
1
mind.
second,
Yeah.
because the Kepler I know is the one that's way outside of our galaxy. What do you mean we're going to Kepler? And I say, like, dear friends, didn't you know if you look inside in Destiny's universe, the Oort cloud at the edge of the solar system, you'll find a little planetoid that also happens to be named Kepler here in the world of Destiny. And that's where we're going, to Kepler.
Ok.
Super exciting. This is kind of a, Robbie, we were talking kind of before the show. This is like the
Donc
like
on est
the first
invité
taste of
sur un
something new.
Kepler qui
Yeah,
est pas
so
le Kepler
what you're
jusqu'au
seeing
bout du
here is
monde,
us
là.
just trying something new. We're expanding the universe of Destiny, creating
Pour une
new
certaine
mysteries to
raison.
uncover. This whole destination is about exploring a labyrinthian world that took inspirations from things like Dreaming City, exotic missions, dungeons, and it's wrapping it all through a Metroidvania-inspired experience. And so at the heart of all of this, at the heart of the Edge of Fate, is a player-driven exploration and discovery of an exotic world with brand new abilities.
Et donc avoir des
Especially to even just maybe dig a little bit deeper, like how is the Edge of Fate going to be different from past expansions that we've made for Destiny?
Yeah, so at the global scale, when we're thinking about expansions in the Year of Prophecy and the formula of Destiny expansions going forward, first off, we're doing 2 expansions a year instead of just 1. And think of each of these expansions as a little bigger than something like a Rise of Iron from D1. And so both of these expansions combined are going to be even more expansion content than we've done in the past. And by delivering 2 of these a year, we're upping the pace of major world and story events that really matter to players and are going to be pushing the Fate Saga forward. And so we're trying radical new things with each of these expansions. And so alongside this new destination of Kepler, this exotic world that players will explore with brand new abilities, we also have world tiers. And world tiers allow you to take on a higher level of challenge on the destination in order to attract some of the best loot within the release. But what's cool about world tiers is as you play through the mainline story and you play through the first couple of world tiers, you're going to unlock later world tiers. And as you're claiming these abilities, as you're exploring the world more, as you're discovering more within the release, you're putting these puzzle pieces together and you're figuring out how to solve all the mysteries on Kepler with different ways. And so you might play a puzzle in one way, a mission in one way, and when you're in these higher world tiers in the post game, you can start to solve these problems in different ways that you couldn't before in the original playthrough. And so alongside all of this, we're also going to have a ton of quest content that we're rethinking about how we use within the game. And so on Kepler, there's some non-linearity within the destination itself. And so with a lot of our side quest content that is related to the critical path, but you don't have to play it. It's there for you to explore. It's driven by your discovery of the world. You're out in the field, you discover something, and you pick it up, and that's going to help you explore the characters in the world of Kepler more and go deeper on that story. And so, yeah, again, this is all about us just looking at the formulas that we've been building in Destiny over the last 10 years, and some of them are really strong, but they're due for some experimentation and some radical changes. And so that's what you're seeing here with the first taste of the Edge of Fate.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I love everything you just said. I was a little distracted by some of the gameplay we were showing, like exotic sniper rifle, I think I saw, kind of recognize that.
Oh, yeah.
Some enemies with a couple really cool twists, like, okay.
Yeah.
But then also there was a guardian that turned into like a lightning ball.
Oui, voilà, merci.
Yeah. So there's multiple new abilities that your players are going to be able to discover on Kepler that's going to make them navigate and look at the world in different ways. But the one you're talking about, Dylan, we see it as our premier ability, the crown jewel of the release, and that's called Matterspark. And Dave has joined us, and he's helps us take the vision of the narrative and the design and the art and smush it together in amazing experiences. And so I think Dave should talk to us more about Matterspark.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So there's this new source of energy on Kepler, this strange dark matter. So the Guardian binds itself to the dark matter using the arc powers within. You can think of the dark matter as like a medium, and the arc as this catalyst that will allow you to completely change form. Transforming into Matterspark lets you squeeze into tight areas, race around areas, jump over stuff, and it also allows you to turn into this basically electric rolling ball of death, jolting and shocking enemies that come across your path.
So obviously, one big part movement, one big part combat, but I mean, even just in addition to that, to look a little bit, wider, like how did the Matterspark ball kind of influence the world that we're going to be inhabiting?
Yeah, the team really had to rethink what it means to build a destination with these abilities in mind.
C'est sûr qu'il va y avoir des passages
simple
pour faire des trucs en mode
becomes
comme un
a
flipper
ramp
ou
to
comme
get to a new
fiction pour de
space.
vrai.
A crack in the wall, it basically will reveal a whole new area to explore. It's also a new way to engage with enemies. Instead of taking a bunch of enemies head on, you can find a Matterspark pad, transform, turn into this electric ball of death, and then just start racing around the arena, dash over their heads, and flank from behind, and then really give the House of Exile on Kepler a bad day.
As well we should. It's a good day for us as well. So what are some of the other Kepler abilities that we'll be able to unlock while we're out there as well?
Yeah, so each of these Kepler abilities are a mix of dark matter and our Guardian's powers. So we have the Relocator Cannon, which is this new falling dark matter tech mixed with void. This is going to allow you to bypass laser walls, use these cascading relay networks,
ça, hein. J'aime bien.
and just
Et là, il va aller
basically
dedans?
teleport around the world. Another ability that we have is Mattermorph. This is dark matter mixed with strand, allows you to manipulate the environment. You'll be able to basically push and morph and move geometry to create bridges,
j'aime bien.
open up doorways, and then also
Bon, il y
reveal
a peut-être des gens
secrets
qui
and
vont
new
dire c'est plus un
opportunities.
FPS.
Yeah, so what's really important
Mais
about what
personne
Dave
m'en
is
fout.
describing and when we were thinking about building this world,
J'aime
it was
bien.
all about like, hey, here's this
Ça
new
apporte de la
tool
nouveauté,
to
c'est
navigate
cool.
and see the world in a different way and solve little puzzles and mysteries throughout the missions,
Il y a Pigman.
the free roam, and the quest
veux
content,
faire ça maintenant. Oui,
and
c'est fun,
beyond.
en fait.
But also what was really
On veut du
important to
fun.
us is that we lean into Destiny's first-class ability gameplay. And so with Matterspark, like Dave is mentioning, you're jumping, you're dashing into enemies to destroy them, you're doing giant explosions with them. With the Relocator Clan, and you're just blowing everything up with void explosions and graviton lance style,
Exactly.
like projectile, little secret projectiles. And then what's really fun about Mattermorph is you can just be like throwing these strange shurikens basically to just like delete an encounter before you then like start to morph the environment around you and move to the next area. And so it's just really exciting I'm incredibly excited about watching players just like solve puzzles and fight encounters in ways that like we don't even expect yet and see how they take on the destination. And just like I really want to emphasize, you're going to be upgrading these, and when you get into especially the post-game experience, it's going to unlock, there's something unlocks with Matterspark that really changes the way that you can play through the entire destination.
Yeah.
So when we're
Okay.
talking about dark matter,
Ça, c'est sur Kepler.
Yes.
we have darkness abilities like
Mais on va
strand and
débloquer un
stasis
truc
already. Like,
qui
how is
modifiera
dark
notre
matter
gameplay
different?
pour
Yeah,
toutes les
so
endroits.
dark matter and darkness are two completely separate things. They're
Il a
completely
pas dit quoi.
different things. But
Il y aura un
dark
truc
matter
durable,
does
quoi.
exist in our world. In the world of Destiny, we know it as
Pas
being
que sur Kepler.
tightly connected to the Nine. It's what the Nine are actually made out
Imagine
of.
20%
In
de
our
bleu.
world,
Oui,
dark
oui.
matter is invisible. You can't really see it. And it wouldn't be very fun to make a destination where there's an invisible thing that you can't
Marble.
actually see. So lucky for us on Kepler, there's a bioluminescent microbe that allows us to see all of this substance that's impacted this world so much. It allows us to see how it's impacted the plant life, how it's impacted the behavior of the peoples that we're going to encounter. And we can see how it has been able to bring these things that are kind of unstuck in time into this current location.
I do have to put on my drifter hat for just a second and, like, what does it smell like? What does it taste like?
Yeah. Dark matter smells and tastes like bleach and math. Yeah, it's true.
Cannot wait to get that chip flavor.
Yeah.
Get it with a sandwich today after.
It's zesty.
Yeah, should be good. Actually, so on the topic too of stuff in the trailer as well, we heard someone talking there. Can you tell us who that was?
Sure, that was Lodi. Lodi is a new character that we're introducing in Apollo. Not in Apollo, we're introducing him in The Edge of Fate.
Yeah.
I want to give a special shout out to Brian
Bien,
Villalobos, who portrays
qu'il y a
Lodi
une
and does
bonne
a
voix.
spectacular job. This character is fascinating. He's kind of a fish out of water, but the fun thing about tropes is to kind of put a twist on them, right? So what if that fish that we pulled out of the water was the most qualified fish to be pulled out into the air?
Down for anything.
It's down for anything. And
yeah.
what if that fish was kind of made to be pulled out of the water? I don't want to give away too much because this character is way more fun for the players to figure out what
Vous savez
his
qui
deal
me
is.
rappelle?
But I will say that Lodi is very,
Gordon
very far
Freeman.
from home.
Very fair, very exciting. So,
I do have to call out, too, before we started this, you and Robbie were talking about how Lodi is like a notice me character.
Oh, yeah. Robbie wanted a senpai.
trop
Yeah.
envie, j'ai pensé.
Yeah, I wanted someone that I just wanted to spend a bunch
Yeah.
of time with on this
J'y
new
pensais
adventure we're going
direct.
on.
Yeah, a friend that we can look up to. Yeah.
right, yeah,
Il a le
notice me.
potentiel.
Notice
Notice
me,
me.
Lodi.
Yeah, of
Il
course,
a
he
le
writes
potentiel
himself.
du futur.
Or rather, Allison does. So, with regards to the characters as well, so is it a whole new
En
cast of
plus, c'est
characters?
son
in the
style en rouge et noir
No,
comme ça.
we're going to see some new faces like Lodi and other characters, but
Lodi.
we're also going to see some familiar ones too. Ikora is here. The stakes are high enough that she's here
Oui,
investigating
Ikora.
what's going on. And as
J'aime
it
bien,
turns
moi.
out, in one of our major mysteries, she's kind of at the center of it. She was invited here, as was Lodi, same as we were. All of it's
Freeman.
kind of tied together.
Very exciting. So,
Yeah, the way. If I can.
No, no,
yeah,
please.
no,
Yeah,
yeah.
please,
Like
yeah.
the way we think about this is about all these characters.
Ça va être le mec
Their
avec
fates
le
are
rat.
intertwined in some way.
J'avoue
There's these
que
puppet
ils
masters
essayent
that
de
have been
mettre
pulling
tout
the
le monde
strings for a
ensemble, donc
very,
c'est possible.
very, very long time in order for everyone to get here at this moment. And so, as a guardian and these characters involved, they're going to have to decide if they're fight your fate. Like that's what we think about. For these individuals, that's what they're going to have to go through and determine about how they can stand up to this new conflict that is surrounded by the Nine, because they are fated to be here. And what does that mean for them, and what does that mean for their future and the future of Seoul itself?
So with regard to these new characters and this world we find ourselves in, was there anything about that setting, or in particular, that really influenced the creation, rather, of this world that we're going to be inhabiting?
Yeah, I'll give you a list of fun facts. First off, if you've been paying attention to Destiny over the last week or so, you already know that there's been people on Kepler for a long time. That's an old-ass computer that you were putting those numbers into. We also know that the Vex are here. They're studying the Nine, because it turns out the Nine can do something that the Vex can't. As Dave mentioned, the House of Exile are also here. They've become fixated on a being that they call the Giver. And kind of most importantly, the dimensionality on Kepler is really thin. So the 3 dimensions that we can know and see and touch are very close to the realm that the Nine live in. And that means some things from Earth's past have been yanked into Kepler's present.
Exciting.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, so we've been talking about invitations throughout this, and we need to call out an invitation that's actually going to be waiting in the game after this is over. Rite of the Nine begins today.
Yeah.
So I believe we have a trailer to show.
You were nice enough to bring a trailer along. I'll go ahead and give it a look really quickly.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Donc là, c'est la nouvelle activité qui commence ce soir. Avec les donjons. Difficulté. Il y a du matchmaking sur le premier niveau de difficulté. En vrai, si je lance mon rendu en parallèle, on peut y aller en faire un ou deux modos et ça. En vrai.
All right, so that's Rite of the Nine, which is our essential prologue story for the Edge of Fate. And these 3 dungeons that are featured in this event are free for all players starting today. And so what's really important about this is that these dungeons are both for veteran dungeon crawlers, hardcore raiders, people who've been in these places a lot, but new guardians who have never stepped into a dungeon before, right? What was really important for us when we were developing Rite of the Nine was that we were changing the formula on how we can think about how we can welcome even more people into these experiences. And so you're going to be able to go in solo, buffed up, and explore a dungeon by yourself, or go in match-made with other fire team members shoulder to shoulder for the very first time. But don't worry, because we also have that higher level challenge for our veteran, our hardcore dungeon crawlers, where you're going to be able to earn the best possible loot, exclusive rewards, and also an exclusive title as part of Rites of the Nine. What's also really important about this event for being a prologue for the Edge of Fate is that it really reintroduces the emissary into the game, and you're going to learn why her job is pretty crappy and why she quits at the top of the Edge of Fate, like we saw at the beginning of this show. And so, Andy, we've been talking a bunch about how our Destiny expansions are changing the formula for Destiny going forward. So now I think it's time for us to start talking about how the core hobby of Destiny is changing going forward. The day-to-day of playing Destiny, week over week experience. And we've got someone else on the couch here to help us talk about that.
We have an expert in that very subject now who's gone ahead and joined us on the couch. We are now joined by the one and only Mr. Ben Womack, creative director here on Destiny. Ben, how's it going, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm really excited to be here. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, seriously. There is a lot. Yeah, it's going to be a very good conversation we have coming up. Yes. But before we get into that, can you tell us just a little bit about what you do here?
Yeah. So I'm the Destiny 2 creative director for the core game, or the core hobby, as we call it. Yeah. And it has to do with all parts of the game, everything from Edge of Fate, through our seasons, through the fundamental systems. And in particular, like Robbie's saying, I've been focusing on thinking about the kind of building blocks of Destiny 2 and getting those not only stood up, but also transformed and iterated on in some really exciting new places.
Nice. Well, let's go ahead and just start at the top. Can you tell us a little bit about what the core formula of Destiny is changing and why?
Yes. So I think we need to start with the why first, because it's important to think about what is Destiny, what is great about Destiny. And Destiny is best when you have awesome chases that you're excited about. You have really cool, powerful builds to make, and there's a mountain to climb that's right in front of you that you want to climb. You're like, I want that mountain. It looks pretty cool. And the thing that is not always true right in Destiny is like, it doesn't feel streamlined as it could. Players don't have as much agency. You know, we want to be player-driven. We want to be more rewarding than we are. Because right now there are barriers to playing Destiny like in the best way. And those barriers are insurmountable sometimes. So think about that whole picture of, okay, what is the Destiny that we really want, that has been in the past, that we also want to get back to, and where we want to go for the future? That's where all the changes you're going to see have started. Like
at their inception point.
It's a big piece of the pie.
Massive updates coming across so many systems of the game. We're just getting in, digging into the surface.
Yeah. I mean, to that same end, then, how are we making it easier? Pardon me, to go ahead and just get straight into the fun.
Oh no, let's do it, because that's exactly what we want to do. And the first thing you're going to see when you log into Destiny with Edge of Fate, you're going to log in your character and see your ship in orbit. It's going to say, it's not going to say Open Director. It's going to say Open Portal. And the portal is our new front page of the game. We're trying to get you to the fun as fast as possible, and as few clicks as we can. We even have Edge of Fate there in the corner, so that it's right immediately there. No fumbling around with the map to get to it, really. And we're also taking other big parts of the game, the ritual game for seasons, and putting them into these ops categories. So the idea is that we're having these different ops for different moods. We're having solo ops. We have a bunch of fire team ops. We have pinnacle ops, and of course we have crucible ops. Still super important for the game.
Yeah. I mean, to start up at the top, can you tell us a little bit more about what solo ops is?
Oh, yeah. So solo ops is exactly what it says on the tin. It is a bunch of activities that are made for solo players. And the conception point of that was, we want to make activities for players who have a smaller amount of time that they want to play in, and they don't necessarily want to have dependencies on other players, but they still want to get in there and play for 10 to 15 minutes and get some real progress.
Yeah, get some loot.
Yeah, get some loot. Yeah. Get some loot and get your character forward and feel like, I played some Destiny and that was great. And even if you don't feel like playing with other people, that's fine, because we have an activity type that is designed for one player.
Excellent. So, I mean, to that same end, what are some other ways that we can play and have fun using Portal as well?
Yeah, so Robbie actually has a great way of talking about this. So.
Yeah, some of the North Star that is what we talk about when we were developing the Portal early on was like, where are we headed with this thing? And ultimately, it's play your way. It's giving players more agency, more personal drive to figure out how they want to engage with the power climb and the new progression systems coming and our seasons. And so the entirety new progression and power climb is now all available to you in the portal at your fingertips in one place. It's really easy to find, really easy to jump in. Anything you play inside of that category is any of those categories is gonna help you make progress. And so, because we want Destiny to be welcoming not only to new players, but also old players who are coming back to the game to join us with the Edge of Fate. And we also want this to be like a new even playing field for everyone. And so, as part of this is a commitment from us, as part of the core hobby and all the seasonal content we're building, that we're going to be continually investing. We're going to be continually updating this over time for years to come. And so, you're asking me directly, like, what else is there to do? I mentioned solo ops. We also have the fire team ops and pinnacle ops. Both these are more around playing with other fire team members, shoulder to shoulder, where fire team ops are more quicker sessions. There are some longer form things in it too, but then pinnacle ops are more about those really long form or more challenging kind of focused activities like exotic missions, for instance. And so, and then the one thing we haven't talked about yet very deeply, but is incredibly important, and it's something that I think we've done for the first time, like ever, or maybe since early D1.
It's kind of a return to form.
Yeah. You're going to be able to experience the entirety of the power climb within Crucible Ops by playing PvP, right? So this means, like, if you want to be sweaty, Andy, which, like, I know you, Dylan, too. I know you're that way, right? Like, I know both of y'all, like, if you want to put those sweatbands on, you're going to be able to play the entire experience in the season here and earn some of the highest tier loot that's also available in the game.
I have to say, this is, like, super exciting, because, like, my player type or other folks out in the community, like, they want to go in, they want to jam on PvP, but then their friends invite them to do a dungeon or a higher tier activity, and they're like, oh, wait, I need to grind a long time to get up to power. Now, through PvP, they can get up to power, and you can just bring them into that PvE experience and have a fun time with each other.
That's also how I primarily played D1, so I'm really looking forward to that. So it sounds like the core, obviously, of what you guys are talking about, play the way you want to play. is at the center of all of it. What if I really want to challenge myself, push myself?
Oh yeah.
A little bit more?
That's important.
Non,
to
c'est
us.
cool.
Yeah, so-
That's important to us.
Well, death, but also success.
Yes,
and
that's true.
from it.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we really want to give agency. That's one of the things. Player driven towards loot and challenge. And so we have a really hugely expanded activity
ça repeuple
customization
les plays
system.
PVP,
We have
ma
a lot
foi.
more difficulty levels, and we have a ton of new modifiers. We have 50 new modifiers along with all the old modifiers that we've
50 nouveaux
released in the
modificateurs.
past that are going to make this big curated web of options for you to experience
Ah, ça a
any of the
l'air,
PvE content in the curator.
ok.
And so, like, we have Banes, not just old Banes
Difficulté
that we have, but
impossible.
new Banes as well. We also have boons to help you
Bah,
like, get
allez.
advantages in your activities and
Moi
for
aussi,
your
je veux des
build. We
engrammes
have
rouges.
challenges and trade-offs. And the fun part is you're
Rentrer
going
mon
to
inventaire.
get these different combinations that are available, and you're going to then make a mix that's actually going to change the way you play. And
Bah
be
oui, t'es
pretty
d'accord,
interesting.
t'arrives à le
Sometimes the
gameplay,
way
je
you
suis
prefer
fatiguée.
you play. Like there's a new boon
J'ai
called
passé la nuit à
Grappler
finir
that I
Expédition
personally
33.
love. It's kind of my preferred way to play, where they give you 3 grapple grenades, replacing your current grenade. You can't do the melee, but they recharge super fast. So any build you want, you could now Spider-Man around any map. It's actually super fun.
It's so fun. Yeah, and I mean, like, what's at the heart of what Ben is talking about is what we kind of call the virtuous cycle, right? Where you're going to be crafting your build, tinkering with the activity, looking at like how you can earn a higher tier of reward by taking on higher challenge. And as you earn better loot, you're looking towards that next mountain to climb just ahead of you all the time. And so this is really about how far you want to push yourself upwards within the portal itself. But also, we also are thinking about the people, and that's the depth, right? That's the depth of the challenge that we're talking about. That's also, but we're also thinking about the people who don't have
Solo
as much time to
impossible,
play, like
difficulty
solo ops.
blue armor,
And also,
blue
if
weapons.
you're scared of modifiers or you're scared of customizing these
Or
activities,
you just don't feel
or
like
you just don't
it
feel like
today.
doing it. Yeah, that's a great way to describe it. Thank you. We have a bunch of quick play options,
Blind.
right, Ben?
Yeah, quick play options, and we actually have matchmaking and Fireteam ops.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and we have Fireteam Finder, and so you're able to like really choose kind of what you're in the mood for.
Oh yeah, we
you know?
technically have matchmaking across every activity that exists.
Except for solo ops, because that's solo.
Right.
But
yeah.
yes,
Yes,
otherwise,
but in the
aside
fire teams
from
or
that
pinnacle
one.
ops, it's everything.
Yeah, you'll have options to play by yourself or with other people.
Non, ça
oh,
ne
actually,
se
really fun
produira
part
plus, ils
is
l'ont
you
dit,
can play
Kepler.
a strike by yourself as hard as you want it to
That's
now.
true, yeah.
Le jeu prend beaucoup de
fun.
place sur un PC.
So
Chut,
you're talking
Kepler,
about
c'est à
like
cause
all
de
the,
ce
the
genre de
different boons
réflexion
and
qu'on s'est
combinations.
retrouvé à
I
avoir
think
des trucs
at one point
enlevés.
you were saying around 50 or something like that. Those are the
Achète
ones,
un
50
SSD, ça
new
coûte
ones.
rien.
So it's like you can take those into solo ops. Like we're talking about this being kind of leisurely, bite-sized
T'as raison
activity.
d'autres jeux à
But
part
if you want
d'ici.
to take it and say, I don't
Je
want
rigole,
Weenie
mais
Hut
ça-
Jr. I want
Mais
like
vraiment, un
esoteric
SSD.
level solo hardest thing in the world. Like you can kind of customize and do that.
You can just do it from the very start if you really
Je
want
ne veux
to.
plus jamais lire ça sur ce chat, on est d'accord, Lynx?
Yeah, and the point is that you're going to like stretch that
Non, on
far.
veut pas
and
qu'il
want the
retire du
reward to feel like
contenu.
worthwhile.
Il s'appelle Cutter en même temps. hein.
Yeah, you want to feel like as you're pushing
C'est
yourself, you
dangereux,
are
Kepler.
rewarded for it. That is something that's really important to the
Tu peux
vision
le
here.
retirer pour que ça pèse moins lourd?
Rewards.
C'est fou!
Rewards. There are a lot of rewards, aren't there?
It's funny you mentioned it. Yeah, we've got Banes, boons, modifiers, but let's talk about gear for a
Pas
little
tirer
bit.
ça comme ça.
What's changing
Tu
about
veux qu'on
loot
fasse une
and why
attaque?
should Guardians care?
Yeah, so like talking about chases and mountains and builds, like gear's at the center of all of that, and we actually have 2 giant gear changes. I'm gonna, like, put in 2 little
Jamais ça.
buckets for us to talk about. The first one is Armor 3.0, and the next one is Gear
Oui, on
tiers.
taquine.
And so, like talking about Armor 3.0 first, we are probably making the biggest change ever since Shadow.
Alors,
It's
Roland.
huge. It's
Yeah,
enormous.
it's a huge change.
Yeah, so like we're adding
Ah,
set
oui, c'est vrai
bonuses,
qu'ils avaient fait
which
ça.
is a long requested feature for all the new armor that you're going to be able to get at Edge of Fate launch, and we're redoing all the
Merci,
stats
Mel. Merci
on
beaucoup.
armor. They can now like exceed 100.
Go beyond 100.
Go beyond 100 for extra bonuses.
On peut
And
dépasser
we're gonna,
100.
every single piece of new legendary
avoir
armor that
plus de
drops is
bonus.
going to have all the energy filled in, so you can build crafting right away. And it's going to essentially like. There's more features actually that I could talk about, but I don't think I'm allowed to yet.
Fair. Well, something that we can't talk about too, you mentioned gear tiers as well.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so gear tiers are very
300
exciting because every
résistance, et je
single
reste au
legendary
milieu.
weapon and armor that you can get is going to have 5 gear tiers, starting from 1 going up to 5. And like we have a 5 gear tier 5 piece of legs armor on the screen right now, and you can see that like this is like looks really cool with iconography, but it also has a ton more stats. And oh look, what's that?
Yeah, what's going on with the energy there?
Yeah, the energy.
Ben?
Yeah, that energy says 11.
Pourquoi il y a des bonus de
And it's
7 là?
true.
11, yep.
It's not a typo. Like energy is going to 11 for higher tier armor. And so if you want that for
On va
your
jusqu'à
build crafting
11 en
opportunities,
énergie.
it does like give you some new options you never had before. You're going to have to challenge yourself to get more higher tier
Encore
armor
remettre
and
notre
keep on
perso un
going to
peu
get
là.
yet more
Je
higher
vais
tier armor to get those options.
rebuild.
And this is also not something that's just relegated to armor, right? When it comes to weapons, they're obviously getting their
Si on
own
peut tout
refresh.
jeter, en vrai, ça
That's
marche
Destiny
jamais.
without
Tu
chasing
table
something.
rase, on recommence.
You read my mind.
Yeah, like weapons
seriously.
are part of the player identity. You know, some people like have a gun that they love.
You
and
got fashion,
En vrai.
and then you have gunplay.
that's
right?
true, though we do have fashion for your guns a bit now.
Hey.
Ça te fait pas de mal de
Well,
repartir à zéro.
because once you reach tier 5 for your legendary drops,
Mais
you're
là,
going to
arrête.
be getting tier 5
Mais elle a
weapons,
écrit
and those
en
have
plan
unique
DL de Destiny,
shader
je pensais
treatment.
pas qu'il était si volumineux.
It's like essentially a completely different look that's going to immediately identify it to you and others that this is the highest tier gear of this drop that you can get. It's going to show on the weapon, it's going to show
C'est joli,
on the
ça.
icon, it's even going to show when you kill enemies with that weapon, because there's unique kill effects for tier 5 weapons that you can turn on or off if you don't want it, but your gameplay will like show that, no, yeah, the weapon that is being used is like the highest tier you can get.
Yeah, Giver's Blessing, which I think we have on screen right now. This is
J'ai
one of
envie
the
de jouer,
Kepler
hein.
auto rifles, and I cannot
C'est
put
pas
this
tout de
thing
suite.
down. Yeah, when we're playing through the Edge of
On
Fate
va quand
right
même jouer à
now.
Destiny, là, du coup.
And it's what's really exciting about it for me is that like when you see that tier 5 drop, like you know immediately that's better than like a tier 3 or tier 4
Ah oui, ça c'est
weapon
bien.
that you
Les
have, right?
tiers
And I think
qui font
that's
que
when
au
we talk
final
about
tu
making
vires les autres un
easier,
peu comme quand t'as
Destiny
des
easier
armes
to just
dorées.
jump in, find the fun,
Tu sais que
make
les
it
dorées elles sont
accessible, but
mieux,
also
donc
create more depth.
le
You know,
délai
this
avec
is
les
what we're
autres.
thinking about. It's like how can we just make
ça
immediately
fait
like you
beaucoup de
understand like,
déchets.
okay, this is probably better than the thing I have right now, depending on what gear tier it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good example of how much time and effort is being put into these game systems to make them more like approachable. Change can be scary. There's a lot of change that's about to come to the game. We're Armor 3.0, we have so many new boons, we have a bunch of new stuff. And after
Moi, je
10
pense
years
que ça
of
fait du
Destiny,
bien.
this is going to
À
flip
défaut
some
d'avoir
stuff
un
on its
Destiny
head. So, I mean,
3.
we're going to have a bunch of blog content, we're going to have interviews
Voilà,
with Robbie, with Ben, with
yeah.
more folks
On rebrasse
across the
tout ça,
team
on
that have
refait
been
un
working on
truc,
this. And then
de
we'll also be
propre.
elevating our creator community when they're creating guides, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a fun time. But ultimately, a big shout out and thank you to all the folks that have been coming into our studio, giving feedback early on some of these systems so they can be more approachable. And we're looking forward to all the feedback that's going to be coming after launch too. Like this
Oui,
is
c'est
again
cool.
one of our first steps into something, and then the community
qu'on a
and
gagné
we
une
are going
place
to
dans le
build something
coffre?
amazing.
Yeah, and I can't stress enough how much feedback we've
Et les
gotten from the
nouveaux
community
films?
summits we've been running
Non?
over the last year for the Edge of Fate, and just people reaching out to the community teams and others to us. Like your feedback is invaluable. So like seriously, like thank you so much. We're making this game together ultimately.
Yeah, it's
Faudrait
incredibly
clipper quand tu dis your
important part of the
feedback is not
process. Like, I don't
valuable.
think we would be able to make what we do without it.
C'était une citation, mais ça aurait
Working
été
with the
marrant.
community is obviously a core part. Dylan, huge thanks to you and your team, obviously, for helping to lead that charge. And in advance for the big blogs you get to write. And then also our social media
Franchement,
team.
GG.
You go ahead and get out the door, so
Ça me
go ahead and
plaît
give us a
bien.
follow.
I think,
across the
Ben,
board, but
you were saying you wanted to try to break the record for longest TWID?
I'm more
Ils
predicting
arrivent
we
à
are.
être
Yeah.
tellement
It's not
accessibles
about
au
tries,
nouveau.
it's the state of things.
It's going to be a multi-month journey as we head towards launch. So.
yeah, be a good time.
Yeah.
But you know, we've been talking a lot about the core Destiny hobby. How does that extend into like how players are going to experience like a full year of Destiny?
Yeah, so we've been focusing on improving and changing the formula of Destiny in multiple ways. And so progressing through the Fate Saga is going to be more meaningful with 2 expansions a year. We've been talking about how focusing our seasons on the core hobby of Destiny and that commitment to continually updating it. And in addition, we're going to have 2 free major updates between each of our major expansions coming in the Year of Prophecy and beyond. And so ultimately that means there's 4 big beats happening in a year, 2 expansions, 2 free major updates between those expansions. So what that means we're not doing is paid seasonal content anymore. We're not doing separate
Il y a plus
seasonal
de contenu
storylines.
saisonnier
And this
payant.
also means we're not building a bunch of activity content that
À la
basically
place, on
just
achète
goes
2
away
extensions par an,
and is
ok?
less meaningful to
Mais
the game after 3 months.
saisons,
So
vous payez
we're
plus.
instead focusing all of that effort that used to go there instead into building up the core hobby of the game so the core hobby stays fresh and exciting, year round. And so ultimately, this means no more paywalls for seasonal content, and also these major updates themselves that I'm signposting around right now. The size of them roughly and the inspiration for them we're thinking about is like Into the Light.
Okay.
So when you say like into the light, for folks that aren't out there, like what for a major update, how big is that? Like how do you encapsulate that?
So when I say Into the Light, a lot of this is like the inspiration of what it was. And with Into the Light came a really cool theme that wrapped around all the new stuff we were building within it, but also a lot of the reprise stuff as well. And also, with it came Onslaught, a new type of activity. It came with reprised exotic missions and a rethinking of how we could do like a rad style event, a raid event with the Pantheon. And so for our first major update coming a few weeks after the Edge of Fate launches, we've got Ash and Iron.
Et les clés
right?
de donjon.
And so with Ash and Iron,
Bah, ça dépend si c'est
we're
toujours
going to
les
be
clés de
returning
donjon.
to the Plague Lands.
Returning to the Plague Lands. Can't wait.
It's going to happen.
Plague Lands, baby.
And so that story is
Je
going to
pense qu'elles
pick
font
up
juste
from
partie
where we left
extension.
off, from the Edge of
Ou des
Fate.
majordés.
And with it, we're going to have a new activity called Reclaim, a brand new exotic mission, new types of pinnacle ops entering that for the first time, as well as, of course, what's Destiny without loot to chase? We've got new gear, new rewards, and 2 new exotic weapons as part of Ash and Iron as well. And again, this major update and the season, all the seasonal content going forward is free for all players. All the activity content that exists in the portal, that's free to play.
Very nice. So even to actually go one quick layer two deeper on seasons as well, what are some of the cool things that we're going to be able to do with the season that's launching alongside the Edge of Fate?
Yeah, Ben has been working on this space with the team for a while now, so I'm going to kick this one to him.
Yeah, so we're trying to make any time the best time to hop into Destiny. You know, and one of the ways we want to do that is we want to invest in events that are like accelerating the game and enhancing every part of the game, but also bringing new cool stuff. And actually, we've been working on this so long, we actually have some new cool stuff coming before the Edge of Fate.
It's a special little treat.
Yeah, special little treat. So this Friday, you can play a little event, maybe you've heard of it, called Heavy Metal, which is Tanks versus Briggs, a new PvP mode. It's super fun. I would kind of wish I was playing it right now, I'm not going to lie. But the thing that people at home don't know is we have a new reward that's a unique thing in Destiny if you invest in this event, if you go and play it. And it is a free-to-play event, so this reward is free to play. It is a new combat vehicle that goes in your Sparrow sled, combat Sparrow, called the Griffin. And this is a really cool, like, combat-ready vehicle you can take anywhere. You can summon a Sparrow, you can summon it and use it to fight your enemies and just have a really good time. And there's some really cool there's some really cool build crafting things with this vehicle that I don't want to spoil right now, let people discover, but I'm super excited for it.
They all thought they were going to ride those skimmers forever.
Well, I mean, we've been saying, like, what was it? Skimmer is Flash and the Griffin is Splash.
Hey, there we go. The dad joke quota has been met.
We got to get one in.
Absolutely, yeah. But that's all, right? Ben, like, you've got more for us, don't you?
Oh, yeah. So, like I just said, there's more events that we've been making. There's one that's going to happen right after the launch of Edge of Fate. It's called Arms Week. And it's a 1-week-long event, and you're going to be focusing on one weapon archetype in Arms Week whenever it comes around. And this one is going to give you a new legendary weapon of that type. It's going to have some volatile mods that are there for the week that are going to be super interesting and fun to play with, and some focusing you can do. But there is a problem when you say this event is going to be about weapons and about using them.
Yeah, you got to have a place to test all that out.
Right. And so I mean, I've been doing that in EDZ this whole time. I don't know about the rest of you.
Those poor dregs.
Right?
Yeah.
But there is a new way now. We have a new feature, a long-requested feature that is being added to the game with Arms Week. It is the shooting range. And the shooting range is being added to the tower. It is a now permanent addition to the game with the launch of Arms Week. We're not taking it away.
Bon, il y avait le truc au niveau de la forge, mais...
try out everything in your kit, everything about your build. With all sorts of simulations of different kinds of enemies and situations. And it's all real damage numbers. It's like
avec des chiffres, avec des nombres.
And your fire team.
Yeah, your whole raid team can go down into the shooting range and try out. Like, see exactly what you can do for some kind of boss at this range.
Who can do most of the damage, right?
Yeah, well, you're finally going to know.
So we have a rally flag. It's not just a shooting range. Like, you can go beyond the firing line and use your abilities, too.
Yeah, you totally can. And like, if you wanted to, you could even take in Prismatic and pop Transcendence and try that out.
Il y a des gens qui vont passer des heures dans ce shooting range.
I think the reason why we're not seeing that right now is because it's a Titan.
Yeah, it's a good soldier.
Yeah.
Standing on that firing line.
Yeah, standing on the firing line.
All about building that line and standing.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of theory crafters are going to have to go ahead and have some upheavals to their Google Docs, I'm guessing.
This will be a really good tool. Like, as we're adding all of these different systems with gear tiering and all of that, you can go in and check those damage numbers in real time. Like, how do my stats change? How are these different gear bonuses going to affect my gameplay? You can see it in the tower now.
Ça manquait de fou.
And while we're talking about weapons,
oh yeah,
well, one more thing, right?
Yeah, no, there's one more thing. I'm excited. So, there's more events. Of course, there's more events, and the holiday events are coming up. Where Solstice is right around the corner.
It's summertime, right?
It's summertime. Summertime is Solstice time in Destiny 2, and Solstice has some really cool twists and such that we're planning. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. I want to show you all the new holofoil treatment we have for Solstice weapons. So here we go. This is the holofoil treatment for Solstice in 2025. It is it's amazing every time I look at it. It is an ocean and the line. Yeah, we put the ocean on a gun. How did we do that? It's beautiful. I love it. And any kind of weapon that drops for this event can have a holofoil.
Yeah,
no
so it
matter
could be
what
tier 1 or tier 3. Yeah, any
exactly.
weapon can have the holofoil.
Yeah, the tier 5 holofoil.
Ooh.
You know, like that's gonna be a chase. Our other events will also have holofoils.
Yeah, like Arms Week you're talking
Arms Week
about.
will have its own holofoil.
Pourquoi? Parce que c'est l'océan? Mais moi j'aime l'océan, Elgin, j'aime pas
Every
les
event, the
profondeurs.
major event we have will have a holofoil treatment. The holidays will have their own kind of special one, but yeah, Arms Week will have their holofoil drops that you can farm as well.
Super exciting. No, it's going to be a good time. I'm going to have way too much stuff to chase down, so appreciate you guys putting all the hard work in, obviously, for that. But I believe we've got one more thing.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking a lot about, here are the free updates coming to Destiny, the portal, a bunch of different stuff, Edge of Fate, but we also have another expansion, and we need Allison back on the couch to talk about it.
Yeah, Allison.
Yeah,
She's the best one to talk
Yeah,
about.
we've got something very exciting, and so once again, Allison, thank you for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate it.
Of course. I'm so excited to be the one more thing.
Et voilà.
It's a tradition around here, so we're glad that you could obviously go ahead and lead us into this one. But, you know, as Dylan mentioned, we've talked about the Edge of Fate, but this is the first year we're going to be doing 2 expansions over the course of the year. Can you tell us a little bit about Renegades?
Yeah, so we're going to have a dedicated reveal for Renegades in September alongside our major update, Ash and Iron. But earlier we were talking about how sometimes our formulas can constrain us from experimenting and innovating. And so in that spirit, Renegades is going to be very different from the Edge of Fate. What I can tell you, we'll talk plenty about it later, is that we're going to be experimenting and innovating with activities, with social mechanics, and more. But more importantly, I want to talk about our inspiration. And so I have to kind of tee it up first. So Renegades is going to be a Destiny, like definitively Destiny expansion. This is part of the Fate Saga, and it's going to push it forward in important ways and introduce characters that we're going to spend time with for years to come. It is an essential Fate Saga story. And it's an homage to a universe that has inspired Bungie from the start. It's a universe that all of us here on the couch grew up with, as well as everyone else at the studio, and millions of you back at home, too. It is a peanut butter and combination, peanut butter and like chocolate combination inside of what we're making that could only be possible in the kind of world that we build here. And so I am absolutely thrilled to be able to give our first sneak peek at Destiny 2 Renegades.
Let's take a look.
Donc ça c'est le sneak peek de Renegade. Pardon, j'arrête pas de taper ma touche marathon sur mon carnet. Mais c'est Star Wars. J'avais raison. Je l'avais dit que c'était la typo Star Wars. Je l'avais cool, hein.
Okay, Robbie, what did we just see?
Yeah, so that's Renegades, which is coming out this December. And to really drive it home here, Renegades is a one-of-a-kind Destiny experience, right? And just like we on the Destiny team have taken inspiration from other genres like dark fantasy or cosmic horror, Renegades takes the space western vibe and aesthetic that is Star Wars, and it puts it through that Destiny lens. And ultimately, it's created a new lawless frontier that is emerging within Seoul. And so, like, we're so excited to show Renegades off a little bit today and to be talking about it more in the future in September alongside the major update with Ash and Iron. But right now today, we're focused on Rite of the Nine and what's right around the corner with the Edge of Fate.
Absolutely. No, I heard a lot of calendars get marked just now on September, but no, super excited to share more of that in the future. But that actually leads us to the conclusion of today's show, which again, we covered a lot.
There's been a lot.
Yeah, this has been a big show, honestly. No, we went through a lot of it. So let's go ahead and quickly double check. We obviously went through, and the Year of Prophecy, pardon me, is going to go ahead and kick off on July 15th. And this kicks off a brand new multi-year Fate Saga and our new focus on the core hobby of Destiny. The first expansion, The Edge of Fate, is going to be launching again on July 15th, as I noted, with its raid launching on July 19th.
Okay, hold up.
Yeah.
So you're going through a lot of information. We already covered that. But like, you can't just sneak in a raid date. We have a new raid coming with the expansion, July 19th. We're going to have a bunch of blogs. We're going to have rules, regulations, all that kind of stuff for our raid race.
Of course.
We invite everybody to come in, try to go for that world first title. And yeah, I mean, just stay tuned for more details. We're not going to spoil anything. It's a raid. We got to keep it secret.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a
Everybody
raid.
mark your calendars.
Yeah. Bungie.net is the place to go ahead and learn more. And again, follow our social media channels. Do us all a favor. So in addition to that, again, as we've noted, Ash and Iron, our first free major update, will be launching on September 9th. Renegades, very exciting, will be launching in December.
15 juillet, ça me plaît bien
and then
comme
keep
date.
an eye again on our social channels. We'll provide all the
Personnellement,
updates once they're available. But
Là,
as far
c'est
as
full,
today
perso.
goes, the Edge of Fate and the entire Year of Prophecy pre-orders are available starting right now.
Avec les autres
Now,
sorties
pre-ordering
et tout,
for
c'est
starters,
bien.
the Ultimate Edition will go ahead and unlock the New Land Beyond.
New Land
New
Beyond,
Land
that
Beyond.
exotic sniper.
Super
Ooh, I
exciting.
can't wait, man.
I can't wait, same, honestly. That'll be unlockable in addition to several other goodies. And also, we've also got a collector's edition that'll be available. You can see here
Ah bah,
on
vous
screen,
voyez, il y
it
avait
will be
une
coming
armure.
with a
Il y
awful
avait
lot of
toutes
very
les
cool
armures
stuff,
Star Wars.
including this cool
Il y avait un
statue that you
Vador.
may have noticed here that's been sitting with us on stage. This is one that you can go ahead and add to your collection
15
as well,
juillet,
but that's not all that's in there. Is there, Allison?
We got the writing team got a little excited on this one. We put a lot of lore goodies into this collector's edition. So like that weird metal thing, that weird envelope. Boy, weird. Wonder what's up with that.
Just decorative
You should
points?
probably read it. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna do a dramatic reading as soon as
Yeah, we
we're
should
done.
go downstairs immediately after this.
really
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah,
can
right
say-
after this.
Count me in. And then again, too, as far as today goes, Rite of the Nine. This is the essential prologue to the Edge of Fate, and like all of our events moving forward, is going to be a
Et
free
il y a
to all
110 000
players.
personnes qui
So
regardent sur Twitch, c'est
make
pas
sure
mal,
and go ahead and
sur
check that out when
le
it
truc de
arrives.
Bungie.
And before the show wraps up, make sure and stick around for a little bit longer. We're going to be rating our good friend Sammy Cat as well. So go ahead and give her a follow. Tell her we said hello in chat. Pardon me. If you have any Twitch Prime subs or anything like that, go ahead and do us a
Ça
favor.
dodo.
Drop it over there and check out her stream. She's going to be having a good time. But that
Et où le
concludes it
match?
for us here today. So
C'est
for
comme les
starters,
pingouins de
huge
Madagascar.
thanks to my teammates here for joining me.
Thank you, Andy.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, yeah. Robbie, Allison, Dylan, of course. There we go. We
Sorry,
got
Papa.
Ben, and of course, Mr. Dave Samuel. Thank you all so much for being here today. And then, of course, to the crew
C'est
that
ça,
puts all this
ça.
on.
Thank you,
This
everyone.
doesn't happen by accident. Thank you all so much for all of your hard work and dealing with me on these last couple of days. And of course, to
Ça
everyone
ressemble
at
à
home, to all of our
ça
guardians
chasse.
out there in the community,
C'était
thank you.
bien.
It's a tremendous privilege to get the opportunity to share what we've been working on
Vraiment,
early.
fond de certains
And
trucs
it matters only if you
importants,
guys
pas
show
des
up and
trucs
join us.
max
So we
chelous,
really appreciate it.
qui
We
sont
hope
pas
you
plus
enjoyed.
compréhensibles.
And
Là, c'est
otherwise,
vraiment
in the
mieux.
meantime, until we see you again, take care
Ah,
of
et pour le
yourselves,
truc des
take care
neufs,
of each
hein,
other,
ça fait
and
du
we'll see you all
frais.
Starside.
Les pouvoirs sur Kepler, marrant. Et Renegades, moi me hype, du coup, forcément. Le fou. Ouais, bien, et puis le format avec 2 extensions, c'est mieux. Ça va permettre d'avoir un meilleur flux de jeu. Ouais, ça m'a plu. Ça m'a vraiment plu. Ça a l'air de vous avoir plu aussi sur le live. On oubliera Cutter qui voulait couper du jeu, hein. Moins de période presse. Bah oui, c'est mieux en termes de flux de jeu, le flow, tu vois. Alors c'est bien. Parce qu'après, c'est des jeux sur le long cours, donc il faut aussi avoir des temps un peu... Ah, tu peux pas jouer les carrés Destiny, sinon ce serait triste vu tout ce qu'il y a comme jeu, hein. On le voit encore dernièrement. Il y a trop de bons titres, mais... Je pense que c'est bien, des extensions. Parce que ça apporte quand même pas mal. Si il y a la durée de jeu qu'on a sur un truc comme la forme finale ou quoi, on peut être facile 2-3 semaines la tête dans l'écran bien à fond. Ça veut dire 2 raids du coup probablement. Je sais pas, ce sera 2 raids. Si c'est 2 raids, c'est bien aussi, hein. Ouais. Et puis les petits events, bref. Franchement, hein. Cool, hein. Du mystère, des nouveaux mystères, je suis hype aussi. Le shooting range. Tu sens quand même que enfin quoi. Genre ils se disent allez. Qu'est-ce que les gens demandent depuis 20 siècles là? Non, c'est bien. Hype. Bah du coup je mettrai ça en rediff. Comme je fais souvent, comme ça vous fait un premier aperçu, première réaction à... J'allais dire à froid, c'est à chaud, hein. Ouais. Et puis voilà, là on va aller tester du coup un petit peu le truc de donjon, je pense. L'objet d'une vidéo qui sortira probablement ce mercredi pour ceux qui regardent en rediff. Et voilà.